As of late, Democrats, including Adam Schiff, of course, have seemingly been setting the table for the release of the Inspector General's report, as well as Prosecutor John Durham's findings in the investigations into the investigators in the Russia probe. Now, they say all of it is politically tainted. Meanwhile, the Republican ranking member in the House Oversight Committee, Congressman Jim Jordan, is asking what's got Adam Schiff so worried. And not only joining me is Congressman Jordan, but also the freshman lawmaker from the 21st Congressional District of Texas, Congressman Chip Roy. We appreciate both of you guys being here.
Thank you.
And thank you.
All right, I want to get your thoughts on the latest on the investigation into the investigators in just a few moments. But because I have both of you here, and you're both so busy, I want to jump right into the numbers game that is the 2020 election and somehow taking back the House as Republicans. What's the first thing that comes to mind between now and election night 2020 as you sit here with one newly elected congressman? How do you create more Chip Roys and take back the House?
Real simple. President Trump wins big. I think we can take back the House. I think he's going to win. You look at these 20 Democrats running for office. You saw them on stage a few weeks ago in the debate. I just don't see any of them having a chance to beat the president, particularly when you think about what we've seen in the last 2.5 years under President Trump's leadership. Taxes cut, regulations reduced, economy growing at a strong rate, lowest unemployment in 50 years. We're out of that crazy Iran deal. The embassy is now in Jerusalem, hostages home from North Korea, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh on the court, and a bunch of other things I can't remember. So it's been a great 2.5 years. I think the president wins big in spite of all the things you hear from Democrats in the mainstream press. And if he does, Chip's going to win again. He's doing a great job as a freshman. And we're going to win back a lot of those seats that we lost in the last election, and I think have a chance to be in the majority.
Yeah, I would just add, look, this vote next year, it's a referendum on the future of our nation, right? It's a referendum on whether or not people are going to be proud to be an American, and instead of having it being beaten down and being torn down. I was in Israel just last week. We were sitting on the Sea of Galilee. And we had a bar mitzvah right next door to us, okay, right on the same pier where we had 31 Republicans and spouses. They stopped in the middle of bar mitzvah when they realized that these were congressmen, American congressmen and women, stood up saying, "God bless America," and thanked us. Thanked us for being a nation of leading the world and helping stand next to Israel. And the American people are tired of having their country torn down. They're proud of a president who's willing to say America is great, getting greater, proud to stand up and have judges that respect the Constitution, secure a border, actually talk about having a strong economy and empowering the American people. That's what the American people want, and that's what next year's election is going to be about.
They're also, I was just going to say, they're also tired of being called names.
Yeah,
right.
And they're sick of this from the left and from the mainstream press when they say all kinds of bad things about the president, and then by extension that aren't true, and then by extension, any of us who support President Trump, somehow we're the same thing. Right. People are fed up with that. They're tired of that. They like what President Trump's doing. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to win big, and if he does, we're going to take back the House.
Well, I want to touch back on Israel in just a moment. I know you returned last week. But with regards to Texas, suddenly the mainstream media is talking about this idea, and it seems to come up from time to time, that it's an actual purple state. As a Texan, what do you think when you hear things like that?
Yeah, there's much ado about the last election, but they're making more out of it than really is. It's a bright red state. It's filled with strong conservatives who love their country and love the state of Texas. Again, looking for a secure border. That's the #1 issue everywhere in Texas. Definitely true in Texas 21. And they're proud of what the president is trying to do it in the face of Democrats who don't want to. I think Democrats have irrational exuberance about what they're doing. And, if they want to come burn a big pile of money in the streets of Austin, Texas, coming after me and other conservatives that represent the values of Texas, I welcome it. Because that means there's more focus on Texas rather than the rest of the country. Texas is going to stay bright red, and we're going to keep leading the nation and the world in job creation and freedom for the world.
I think, look at Inspector General Horowitz when he did his report a 1.5 years ago on the Clinton investigation. We learned some amazing things there, like the fact that Andy McCabe, deputy head of the FBI, former deputy head of the FBI, lied 3 times under oath. So first report that'll come out will be Inspector General Horowitz. I expect that sometime next month. And then the one that really counts is the one that the Attorney General of the United States has tasked John Durham to lead, the U.S. Attorney from Connecticut. That report, I think they're starting from the same premise Chip and I start from, which is what the FBI did was so wrong. They went after this president, and that's where all the evidence points to. Remember what Bill Barr said when he was interviewed probably 4 months ago now, or when he was a witness in the Senate Finance Committee. He said 4 things. He said there was a failure of leadership at the upper echelon of the FBI. Certainly true. Comey, McCabe, Baker, Strzok, Page, all these people. Second, he said spying, he believes spying took place. He said third, there's a basis for my concern about the spying that took place. And then fourth, he used two terms that should frighten us. He used the term unauthorized surveillance and political surveillance. When the Attorney General of the United States is concerned about those kind of things, that should alarm us all, and that's why he has said we're going to figure out how this started. Remember, the president is falsely accused of conspiracy with the Russians to influence an election. Jim Comey's FBI does a 10-month investigation. They find nothing. And we know they found nothing because when we deposed Jim Comey, he told us we didn't have anything. He gets fired, Bob Mueller's name, May 17, 2017, and he does a 22-month investigation. He finds no collusion. So we got 32 months of investigating, no collusion, and yet the Democrats say, Adam Schiff says, oh, we need to keep investigating. Maybe we'd be better served if we actually went back and figured out how the false accusation started. And that's exactly what Bill Barr and as Attorney General is going to do. And I think that is the right thing. So I'm looking forward to these investigations, and I have confidence both in Michael Horowitz and in Attorney General Barr.
And quickly, because we're going to take a quick break and come back, and I want to get a couple more thoughts from you guys. But quickly, have you spoken with the White House, or is there any indication that President Trump is going to release those classified documents?
So he has given that authority to the Attorney General. The Attorney General, I believe, will release those in conjunction with how the investigation is progressing. So I do expect to see that material at the appropriate time. But that ultimately, it's the president. He's the head of the executive branch. He's the commander-in-chief. He can make the determination. But he has designated that task to Attorney General Barr.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One America News on YouTube. And call your cable provider and kindly demand that One America News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.